Hi, we're here with Jerry Janesch from Keithley Instruments, and what we have here on the table next to us is a digitizing DMM that incorporates a touch screen the way you would control a screen on a smartphone. We thought that was an interesting development, interesting enough that it was worth going through a short demo. Jerry, first of all, tell us why Keithley decided to put a touch screen like this on a DMM.
Hello, Lee. Thank you. The reason is really ease of use and learnability of the instrument and what we call interacting with your data, or interacting with a waveform. And we'll show you some pictures of what we mean by that. So very easy to move from a smartphone to now operating a digital multimeter with these graphing capabilities.
So how do you set up a measurement on this thing?
Well, let's show you. This is showing you the front panel of our model DMM7510. It's a 7.5 digit, and what we're calling a new class of multimeter, what we're calling a graphical sampling multimeter. If you wanted to, what we're showing here is the front panel taking a DC voltage measurement off of a shorting block that we have plugged into the front panel jacks. And as you can see, it's making measurements in the order of about 10 nanovolts. And if you wanted to simply move to a 2-wire resistance setup, you just simply hit 2-wire ohms, and it'll begin taking resistance measurements for you. So very easy to set up. Now again, we've incorporated a very flat menu structure on this DMM. So if you wanted to go in and change any of the settings for 2-wire resistance, you can very easily begin to swipe the bottom half of the screen and go off, and you can change your NPLC rate. If you wanted to turn off auto zero or rel, then you can do that. Or if you wanted to get into some of the other settings in a 2-wire resistance measurement, you just hit this little icon on here, and then you get a full display to go off and change anything on 2-wire resistance, the measurement function.
Jerry, one of the things this thing is capable of is graphing, and that's where some of the touchscreen functions really come in handy. Could you show that to us?
Absolutely. So the nice thing, again, we talk about this bottom half being a swipe screen. So let's go over and let's look at graphing on here. And that's what we're showing right here. So you're getting your measurements and a graph of all your readings going into the reading buffer. If you wanted to see a large picture of that, you can just hit this little icon here, and you get a representation, graphical representation of that signal. And so now, and this makes it very easy to use, because now instead of sending data over to a PC and graphing it in Excel or something like that, you can now see your data visually right on the front panel of this instrument. And if you wanted to, again, you can kind of pinch and zoom. Hold on here. Let me stop the reading and go off and pinch and zoom and look at all of your readings. So if you're interested in this point up here, you can kind of pinch and zoom and see exactly what you have.
Jerry, one of the distinguishing features of this meter is that it's a digitizing meter. Can you explain to our viewers what that really does for you?
Absolutely. So as Lee, as you make mention here, so what let's look at the different functions that we have in the DMM. So a lot of your traditional DMM functions are built in, so voltage and AC voltage, temperature, frequency, capacitance, but we also built in 2 new feature sets that really make this what we're calling a graphical sampling meter, and that's being able to digitize voltage and digitize current. And we do that by building in a 1 megasample per second 18-bit digitizer for either voltage or current. And we can run through a quick demonstration on that. You typically would not envision a DMM showing you a sine wave, but let's quickly go through a demo and actually show it digitizing. So what we're going to do here is generate a tone from my phone using a function generator app. This is a free apps that you can either get on an iPhone or Android operating systems. And we have it plugged into a microphone, so that's taking this tone, audio tone, and converting into a voltage, and we're going to go through and actually digitize that signal in the DMM. And so let me just set up a quick demonstration mode we have to run through and capture that kind of a waveform. So let me go ahead. Right now it's just capturing noise because I haven't turned on my function generator. So I will turn on my function generator. This is actually creating a 1 kilohertz sine wave. And I will go ahead and turn that on. And there you go. Now you can see a 1 kilohertz sine wave. I'll go ahead and change the frequency. Let's go down to 500 hertz or 2 kilohertz or even up to 4 kilohertz. And you can very easily see that, that signal. Now, if you wanted to go in and let's say examine that signal, let's say this was ripple on a power supply design, we can very easily go in, put it into manual mode, and then actually go in and then analyze that signal and take a look at that ripple. We've also built in capability for setting up cursors on here. So if you wanted to set up vertical cursors to get a time span, so if we wanted to figure out what that frequency was on that DMM, we would simply bring in our two vertical cursors and then look down here, and it's giving you, that's roughly about 977 microseconds is what it's saying. So very close to a 1 kilohertz sine wave. Similarly, if you wanted to measure the amplitude on that signal, you can go off and look at the horizontal bars and then dial those in the same way and horizontally see what the delta voltage was between those 2 points.
Jerry, how would you capture a transient event with this?
That's a great question. So in addition to this capability, we also had to beef up the triggering aspects of this DMM. And because when transients occur, you don't know when they are going to occur. So you can actually set a level trigger on this DMM to capture a certain transient event. And let's run through a quick demonstration of that. So in this state of the DMM, we've pre-programmed in a level trigger on this DMM, and it's off, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner here. It's waiting for the trigger event to happen. So it's waiting for this voltage level to occur. And what I'll do is I just start jumping up the volume level on this sine wave that's appearing here, and it'll slowly activate that level. And that's what you're seeing on here. You're seeing a diamond indicate, hey, the level trigger occurred right here. And it captures both pre-data and then also post-data. So now you can go in and analyze that signal using the cursors and kind of swiping and looking at your information. So in a transient situation, again, you would program a voltage level, and when it occurred, you'd be able to see what happened before and then also what happened after, pre and post data.
Well, Jerry, that's a DMM that has a lot of capabilities. I think it'll be well used by engineers. If they want to find out how to get it or get more information about it, where do they go?
Yes, the DMM7510, if you need any more information on it, go to www.keithley.com and you can search on DMM7510, and you'll be able to get more information on our new graphical sampling multimeter.